I'm so excited to be standing in the kitchen for this episode of What's Cooking with Como with 7-time James Beard Award nominee, Chef Amy Brandwine. She's also the owner of Centrolina, celebrating 10 years in the city, and Piccolina. Her restaurants make you feel like you're transported to Italy. Thank you so much for joining us in my home kitchen.
Thank you for having me.
I love celebrating you and your career and all your delicious food. I start every episode, though, with the same question. This is going to be hard for you, but what is your favorite dish?
My favorite dish is I like pie. So
Pie?
Yeah, pie has a lot of meaning for me, especially raspberry pie. So the first thing I made by myself was a raspberry pie, and so it reminds me of my family and summers up on in Michigan on the water. And when also when I started my own business, I was doing some freelance and in a place that they had a pie shop, and so I was making a lot of pies, and so it's brought me back. Yeah.
That makes sense for why you have such amazing desserts featured at your restaurants
well,
as well.
I do like pastry, yes.
Yes. I love that. I've expected you to say pasta, so I love that it's pie, and I love the memory that goes along with it.
Yeah.
And pies are great for the summer, too. And as we're gearing up for summer at Centrolina, you're offering this amazing dinner series with a changing menu.
Yes. So we started Stella a couple months ago, and it's something that it was like on the stove, so to speak.
Simmering.
Simmering. And so, it's just a way for us to cook things outside of what we would serve at the restaurant. And so we mixing styles, mixing cultures and cuisines, and, just doing things that are a little bit on the intricate side that we can't necessarily offer in the main dining room. So.
And it's Friday nights?
Friday nights, yes.
Wine pairing optional?
Yes,
love
absolutely.
a good pairing.
Yes, absolutely.
And so people can go to the website and get tickets for that and experience more intimate dining at Centrolina.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
We do 18 seats, so
wow.
Yeah, so it's like, it's a very different kind of ambiance than the main dining room. It's very quiet, and the kitchen is right in front of you, so you can see exactly me and my team what we're doing. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it makes it very interactive and kind of a close environment. So
I like the family dinner vibe.
Yeah.
And speaking of all the great food you're serving at Centrolina, I look at these beautiful, vibrant ingredients. Let's get right into it. What are we making?
Okay, so we are making, this is something that I just made up just about a few weeks ago. So it screams spring. So I have some pine berries, which are similar to strawberries, but a little bit less sweet. I have some strawberries here. I have roasted fennel. This is pickled rhubarb. And this is green tomatoes.
Oh, that's so pretty. I can't wait to mix this up.
So we're going to mix it all together. A little bit here. Yeah, just a little bit of this and that. There's no formula. You can, take what you can, obviously put in things that you like, and if you don't like pine berries or something like that, you don't have to put them in there. But
I like seasoning with the heart. I never really measure when I cook. That's kind of how I grew up cooking.
That's very Italian.
Yes.
Every great Italian chef doesn't necessarily follow an exact recipe.
It's different every time.
A little of this, a little of that until it's right, and it can be maddening to people because they want to follow a recipe. But sometimes you have to feel it, right?
So I try to translate my recipes that I got from my aunts, and it's hard to write it down because it's a pinch of this, a pinch of that. You taste the sauce, you add a little bit more oregano, maybe a little bit more fresh basil, and then you keep it moving.
Right, yeah. And Italian chefs, they don't, or even cooks, they're just like, I don't know, when it's ready, it's ready. Please stop bothering me with this. I don't know. What does it taste like? You
tell me.
You tell me, exactly.
So you're cooking when you go to Centrolina and you go to Piccolina and you feel like you're over in Italy. How did you get into starting these incredible businesses and fall in love with Italian cuisine like that?
Yeah, so I went to a French culinary school, and I love to cook, but I realized I'd like to cook with, basil and tomato. It just kind of started there, and pesto. I was making pesto. And so I wanted to work in an Italian restaurant. This was a long time ago. Yeah. So, it wasn't exactly as popular. I mean, it was popular, but not as popular as it is now.
Right.
And so, I cooked, in Italian kitchens for I guess it was 15 years before I opened my restaurant. And then, one restaurant went out of business, and as it was going out of business, I thought, I've done so much work for other people, and I've opened so many restaurants, which is like a really great skill to have in your, portfolio.
Absolutely.
Like, you know how to start things, you know how to map things out. And I said, well, I don't really want to open any more restaurants unless it's for myself. So I said, I'm going to give this a shot. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to do something in the business related to food, but I'm not going to work in the restaurants anymore, because I had given up. It was about 10 years of my life opening, I think it was 5 restaurants in that span. So when you open a restaurant, it takes over your entire life for at least a year. So I was like, I've done that, and I'm over it. So, and I wanted to be successful, and I felt like the only way to be truly successful, especially as a woman chef, is to create a space that fits me, instead of putting me into another concept that I might not be exactly the right fit for. I had a vision of Italian food and how I wanted to cook it and how I wanted it to look and feel, and something that was different in DC. And so I felt very strongly that there was a need for it, not necessarily, related to me, but just expression of when you go to Italy, what the food feels like and looks like is very natural. So I wanted to bring that to a restaurant.
And it obviously resonates because you've had Centrolina for 10 years.
Yeah.
How long have you had Piccolina open?
Piccolina has been open since 2019, so I guess that's 6 years. Yeah.
So 2 very successful places.
Yeah.
And what I love about what you do with Centrolina specifically is you have an all-female leadership team. So you're also cultivating up-and-coming female chefs and helping them to find their own voices in the industry. Why is that so important to you?
Well, because there weren't so many role models and examples for me to latch onto when I was coming up in the business. I was the only woman in my kitchen for the most in the kitchen I was working in. It was a male-dominated kitchen, and it was really hard. I mean, there weren't like people just to shoot the shit with, and be like, "Oh my God, that was crazy," or "Wow, what do you think about this?" Or or there was one woman that was my original. She was a pastry chef, but she was the only chef in the kitchen of Galileo, the restaurant I started at. And I was there for a very long time, and she was just showed me an example of somebody tough that was able to hang with the boys and stand her ground and be a true professional. And so I did have her, but she wasn't really in my department, so to speak. But I understand how hard it is to be in those spaces. And even now, there needs to be examples of people doing well and making it through. And my goal is to help people that were like me when I started, because it was very, very difficult. So.
Yeah, because being a talented chef is one thing, but understanding the business of owning a restaurant and operating a restaurant is a different talent.
Yeah, it is. And thank you for bringing that up, actually.
Yeah, of course.
Because, owning a restaurant and being a business owner and restaurateur, it's a very different set of skills that you have to have from being a chef. And so what I try to do, or what I do is, in terms of how we operate the business, is that, we have, profit and loss reports and all the data and, coming out about how the restaurant's doing and this and that. And that's how you learn how to start your own business, and that's how you learn how to run a business. So, and
what makes it successful.
Right.
Yeah.
So I share that with my team. We just started doing like open book, top to bottom P&L. So I want them to see how it, the sales translates all the way down until, are we being profitable or are we not? Because I want them to be learning how to run their own business eventually. I mean, they can stay with me as long as they want.
You love your team.
I want you to stay with me. But, at a certain point, they may want to do something else, or I may have gone and, I don't know, absconded to another country or something. Who knows? But
so you want to leave them with the tool set they need to be successful.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
That's beautiful, because I think knowledge is power, and sometimes the business side of it can seem like such a mystery. So to be able to share that knowledge that you've learned along the way to have such a successful business that speaks for itself is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think typically like what you'll see is a chef or a restaurant manager, if you don't own it, is you'll see the labor costs and the food costs, but that's all they show you.
Right.
And you have no idea how the rest of it is trickling, and what is the actual result of the restaurant. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. You can take some of that mystery away so the whole team feels included.
Right, exactly.
And part of the business.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the customer gets to come in and enjoy beautiful dishes like this.
Yes.
All right, so we have all the ingredients to make a beautiful summer pasta.
Olive oil.
It's my best friend in the kitchen.
Virgin, right?
I use olive oil instead of butter for scrambled eggs, for basically everything, because that's how I learned how to cook.
Yeah, that's your heart is going to say thank you.
It's a healthy way to replace a bad fat.
Definitely.
It's so good.
Right. So then we're going to season it with salt and pepper. Even though there's some fruit in here, fruit and things with sugar still need salt to bring out the actually the sweetness of it and the full flavor of it. I have mint here, which is really refreshing. I'm just gonna tear it up, okay?
Perfect. And this is great for a home chef meal as well.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Yeah. You don't have to cut it up. This is mirepoix. That's a technical word for it, but you don't have to cut it up so small. You can cut it up in big chunks however you want.
I would love to say that when I cook pasta at home or make any kind of dish, I have good cutting skills, but I always just kind of throw in large chunks of onion or pepper, like whatever I'm doing. It still tastes good, but this, when you go to a restaurant, is like the best treat because it's perfectly cut ingredients.
Right. No, I mean, when I'm at home, I'm not cutting things brunoise.
But I
got news for you. That's not happening in my household. But I am cooking good food, but not this precise.
And speaking of good food, though, you put an emphasis on farm to table, and you partner with a lot of great area farms. Can we talk a little bit about why that's so important to your business model?
Well, I mean, it harkens back to my first days in the restaurant, and the reason why I actually started the restaurant is based on the beautiful product that local farmers have. So like my first days in the restaurant, Italian restaurant I was working in, is like, we get this beautiful arugula, and we would put, lemon, olive oil, and some Parmigiano Reggiano, right? But it was and we put it on a plate and we served it in a 4-star restaurant.
That's amazing.
But it's the product that was the star, So I wanted to open Centrolina, the Mercato, because I wanted to have a conversation about local product, what chefs are able to get, bring it to bear to be able to sell it to, people who just walk in the store. And so, I think local is the way to go. I mean, it tastes better. It doesn't have chemicals in it. It's, especially right now, it's not being shipped from, I mean, we do a lot of imports, right? I think this trade situation is really good in a way, because at least for people eating food, because it starts a conversation about where are we getting the products from. So
where the ingredients from?
Store. Yeah, they're from Mexico. They're from I was at the grocery store just the other day, and like there was cherry tomatoes from Canada and and Mexico, and a lot of the fruit is from South America and things like that. So to support our local economy, it means eating seasonally, like eating what's in season. Like United States produces a ton of apples, right? So instead of looking at them like boring, we should be embracing
celebrating
them, right? So, but I believe in investing in the local economy, whether that's shopping or working with the farms, and the best way to bring everybody up as a community is by putting your money in the community. So
for sure. And then your food has this really authentic Italian taste to it because you are cooking with very fresh, locally sourced ingredients.
For sure. Yeah. You can taste the difference. I mean, it's
absolutely.
It maybe costs a teeny bit more sometimes, but
it's worth it for the health factor of it.
And one thing to talk about also is it lasts longer because it's fresh.
Right.
So it's just picked instead of being picked 2 weeks ago and then put on a plane or something. And then, it's the same as like when we get local truffles, right?
I love local truffles.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's another great example where they're finding them and they're sending to us in the restaurant, and they're not coming from overseas and being vacuum bagged and then shipped, and it's a lot of
getting a different quality.
Yeah.
Oh, now I really want pasta. So let's take this great bowl over to the stovetop.
Let's do it. The moment we've been waiting for, right?
So excited. Okay. Nothing better than smelling delicious food in the kitchen at home.
Right. So, and there's nothing like a pot of boiling water
Yes.
getting ready for your pasta. So
with some good salt added, right?
Yes.
Do you add salt to your water always?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. I was like, wait.
100%. And you want to add it when your water's boiling. Ready to start cooking is when you add your salt. Okay.
Right, when the water's already boiling.
Exactly. So you don't want to like
That's a good pro tip.
boil it and then be cooking this part of it for a half an hour, and then it reduces and then it's very salty.
Okay, so you add the salt once the water's boiling.
Yeah, and you're ready to go. You're ready to cook the pasta.
That's a really good tip for everyone.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna wait. Let's
We'll wait till that boils fully.
yeah, we can do something with this.
Okay, great.
We have something to do here.
We'll turn this down low. Add some olive oil in. Get the ingredients sauteed.
Yeah. So start with like you just suggested, a cold pan. I've got some garlic here. We shave it very, very thin. Okay, and then we're gonna let that warm up a little bit, and always
coat the pan with olive oil, fresh garlic.
Season the vegetables in layers. So, one of the most important things is to season all the way through, beginning, middle, and end. That way you're developing flavor all the way through, and you don't want to just like put it in at the beginning and not taste it, or put it in the end or not taste it.
So it kind of prevents over seasoning or under seasoning.
Correct. You get it exactly right.
Yeah.
You said it exactly correctly. So
that makes me happy.
Yes.
And looking at this fresh pasta that you brought with us, you brought this out. What is in the pasta?
Scallions. So
Ooh.
we take the green part of the scallion and basically like melt it in with the pasta dough, and so it has like a herby kind of taste to it. And this is pappardelle.
Pappardelle.
Yeah.
Nice and thick, and you hand cut it?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's the best way to
Do you
have
make
pasta.
pappardelle?
I've never made pappardelle.
Oh.
I always make fettuccine because I'll roll out the dough, hand knead it, let it rest, and then put it through that hand crank old school pasta maker. So I need an official Amy pasta lesson.
Okay, so I don't have the piece of dough yet, but all you need to do is, when you have your square like this of pasta. Okay, so you basically just cut. If you have, say you have, for example, like 4 or 5 sheets of that dough. You just put flour and a little bit of semolina flour, and you top them on top of each other, and then you just cut.
Oh, wow. It's as simple as that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm making pappardelle
And that's how we get to this. We've just taken, layers of dough and then just cut them.
And you get that beautiful stack.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
You can only cut like 4 or 5 at a time because they'll stick together. But you can see how much semolina is in between them, right?
I like semolina flour
Too.
pasta.
I do too. It's wonderful.
And the nice thing is with fresh pasta, you don't have to boil it for an extremely long time.
No.
To get it cooked, about 2-3 minutes tops.
Yeah, that's going to take a minute.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just want to I want to make sure the garlic is cooked.
Yes.
So
I've learned the good thing about garlic is you never want to overcook it and get the burnt garlic flavor, and you never want to undercook it and make it so you're eating raw garlic.
You're a pro.
No.
You're a pro.
Just I'm hungry and I love
home
pasta.
now.
I'm like so excited you're in my home kitchen with me. It's one thing to cook with you on TV sets, and I've been out to the restaurant to cook with you for Thanksgiving and your grandma's Thanksgiving recipe or your mom's Thanksgiving recipe.
Yes, my mom's stuffing recipe. Yep.
Yes, and we had so much fun doing that, but like this is kind of a geek out moment for me because you're such a star chef to have you here in my home with me.
Stop it. No,
I'm serious.
I love being being at home, and it's just a different, you get to know people in a different way.
Yeah, you get
and
to see.
And then the kitchen, if the home kitchen is like where, people are I think the people are at their best, right?
Yeah, we're most comfortable.
Yeah.
You feel more authentic. You're a little bit more laid back.
For sure.
You get to see all my spices that I love and always use garlic powder and onion powder. I think they're my most used seasonings when I'm making dinner.
I love garlic powder and onion powder too. All right, so the garlic is looking good, and then we are just going to take a couple knobs of butter and melt that. And then the trick here is, you want to take your, you know this already. I know you know this.
The good salted pasta water.
Exactly.
And use it as a base.
Yes.
For the sauce.
You make your emulsion, right? Because water and fat don't want to really go together.
Right. And that gets that nice simmer going with the butter.
I forgot we're cooking for more than just one person, so I'm going to put more ingredients in here.
Because we have a hungry producer waiting behind us. Christina's ready.
And then we like to put a little bit of, now this is not, we're going to go light on this because of the ingredients that we're working with here. But, you know, a little bit, sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan in your liquid, in your sauce, and it'll make it a little bit thicker.
And for everyone listening and streaming and not watching, the butter is thickening with the garlic and the reduced pasta water and the cheese, so you're getting this nice creamy sauce.
It's good. Ooh. And you always want to taste, right?
Absolutely taste along the way. Sometimes when I cook a big meal, I'm not even hungry by the end because I've been tasting the whole way through.
Me too.
It's the best way to eat dinner.
That's why sometimes gosh, hot night in the kitchen, all you want to do is like eat like granola and cereal or something like that. So.
Yes.
All right.
Or frozen burritos, which is what I go to after I've been cooking.
Frozen burritos?
Frozen burritos are my go-to.
All right. So I'm going to take this sauce off the stove for a second, and then we're going to make sure that these aren't clumped together.
So we're separating the pappardelle and adding them in so they don't cook in one giant
glob.
I've done that before by accident.
Because it's hard to get them unstuck.
Yes. If somebody's making boxed pasta at home, what would you say is the biggest tip to, if they make the pasta and then they're letting it sit in the pan, to get the noodles not to stick together into a big glob? Do you add a little olive oil, or do you just try to put them into the sauce quickly?
Okay, so if they're globbed together in the cooking water, okay. Well, you know, in that case, they don't have enough water in their pan, which is in their pot, which is why it's doing that.
Yeah.
You just want to take your tongs and like shake them. Okay.
Okay. Good tip.
And likewise, when you are cooking fresh pasta, as soon as you drop them in the water like this, then you want to take your tongs and stir them. So that it separates them. It prevents them from
becoming one giant.
Yes, yeah, they want to stick together. Even now, they want to stick together. But I am not letting them do that.
No, they look perfect.
They can't do that.
I can't believe how quickly they're cooking.
Oh yeah, 30 seconds to a minute. You know, al dente. You know, just take a piece out. I just do a little poke test,
and you're good to go.
It's almost ready.
Oh, I'm so excited. This looks so good. I haven't eaten a thing yet today, so I cannot wait to eat this. Extra special.
Should be good. I'm going to wait another couple of seconds.
And the nice thing is when you visit Centrolina or Piccolina, you really get a taste of Italy. It feels like you're over there. So if you can't vacation there, people can come visit you.
Yeah. No, I mean, people say like, you know, gosh, you're making me maybe save you a trip. I mean, that's kind of, but yeah, it's very... It tastes and feels like an Italian restaurant.
Oh,
all right. So now we're going to take this pasta and drop it right into our sauce. Okay.
Great.
And so that is also a really important tip. You want to make sure your pasta and the sauce become one. Okay. You don't want, if you're making a meat sauce or something like that, it really tastes better when you reduce it so that the pasta clings to the sauce. They should become one. There shouldn't be a ton of sauce that is like, you know, kind of, that the pasta is sitting in a ton of sauce.
I love that you're saying that because I never scoop sauce on top. I always put it in a frying pan with the pasta and the sauce first and mix it all together.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
That is exactly correct. Okay.
All right. We got all the pasta into the frying pan with the good buttery sauce and cheese. We're going to add all those fresh ingredients.
Yeah, I feel weird not wearing my apron today, but I'm adjusting.
Oh, yeah, because you're used to having the pockets, right?
Yeah, but I'm at your house, you know? I mean, yeah, so this is pretty much done.
That looks so good.
And then...
The tongs over there.
Yeah, we're going to put a little swizzle of olive oil.
Can never have enough olive oil.
No, you can't. And then we go right to...
Oh, the bowl.
The bowl.
I'm just following you around, excited. I'll bring this. Should I bring this over?
Yes.
We have all the fresh ingredients we mixed up with the fresh mint. And then we have a nice frying pan full of fresh hot pasta, little scallions laced in between, fresh garlic. Oh, the smell of this is incredible.
I've had many, well, you know, it's very funny because I've cooked a lot of different pasta at the restaurant.
Right.
I have several people that are like, you know, been with us since day one, and they're like, I think this might be my favorite pasta that you've ever made. And so I found that very interesting, you know, I mean, that's saying something. So
We'll come up with a good name for it, but would you call it a summer pasta right now?
I mean, this screams spring to me.
Spring, okay, yeah. Spring pasta.
Because rhubarb is, you know, it's only available for a very short time. And,
cool.
Here, you have to taste it before.
I was like,
why am I not letting you taste it?
No, I didn't ask. Okay, this is exciting already. Oh my God.
It's fun, right?
That's so good because it's sweet and savory at the same time, and it's
Yeah.
so light. Would you pair that with like a nice light sparkling, or what kind of wine
Good
would
question.
you do?
Yeah, I think so. Sparkling would be good.
Yeah, I'm feeling a bottle of champagne with this pasta.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Thank you.
Let's do it.
Okay, that sounds like a beautiful Friday night to me.
Yeah.
Sitting outside.
This is definitely a, you know, warm weather patio, you know, beautiful thing. And, you know, clearly it's not very hard to make, you know. So,
well, I want to try to make this pasta with the scallion in it.
It's about the flavors, right? It's not about making it complicated. So, you know, why this tastes good is because, you know, the strawberries are sweet, obviously.
Right.
The rhubarb is a very tart thing. The green tomatoes are kind of an additional player. Fennel is kind of buttery.
Right.
And mint is refreshing. So then we're just going to put this on top of that.
Wow. Look at this. I mean, you bring this out at a dinner party and you're definitely the star of the show.
I think so, right?
Yes.
We want you to be the star of the show. It's your show.
No. We want this pasta to be the star of the show. Amy, I can't thank you enough for this. I can't wait to get this into some bowls. I have some bowls over here so we can give it a little taste. How does that sound?
Absolutely. We're going to stir it a little bit.
Nice little stir. Where do we put them? Okay. I'll grab our forks. This is perfect.
All right. So I'm going to ruin this and
It was perfect. We had a photo perfect moment of all the ingredients on top, and now we're going to mix it up and enjoy all the flavors mixed together into this bowl of pasta. Amy, you cook with your heart.
I do.
You put a lot of soul into it.
I do cook with my heart.
It's really fun to watch you in the kitchen, just mixing the ingredients, tasting things, knowing when it's ready and perfect.
Yeah, that's one of my most favorite parts is tasting it and getting that yin yang from all the different ingredients, you know?
Yeah.
So
thank you so much. Got a fork here and a fork there. And I do want to give a shout out to Mary Mendoza.
Yes.
You're amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing teammate, and she does the
our
best
chef
desserts.
de cuisine, and she also is our pastry chef. So she double duties, and she does savory and pastry, and she's very talented.
Very talented and just a beautiful spirit, and I love seeing her thrive with you, and I'm so glad you two are together.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, she's...
Yeah.
You know, she worked with us a long time ago, and now she's in a wonderful new role. So,
oh, that's great to see her grow with you as well.
Yeah. So we should put some mint on this.
Oh yeah, topping with fresh mint. Great. This is a chef's kiss moment. So as we dig into this, Amy, how can people who are watching support you? What can they do to come see you for your dinner series and all the things?
Well, you know, gosh, there's a bunch of different ways to support us. I would love for you to try Stella, our new tasting experience. It's pretty, it's been very successful. And also the chef's tables, we do collabs with so many different chefs. We have an incredible lineup that's coming up. Starting next month. And
Great.
So there's that. And then we have Piccolina, my cafe.
Yes.
And then Centrolina, which is celebrating its 10th. So we want
Happy
everybody.
anniversary.
Yeah, thank you. We're going to do like some of our, I guess the 10 iconic dishes, I'll put them on the menu. So
it's a
coming up.
beautiful thing. And I know you support a lot of local charities as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So people can always catch up with you and all the great work you're doing.
Yes.
And now do we dig in?
We dig in.
We end on a bite of perfectly prepared homemade pasta with Chef Amy Brandwine. Check her out. We're going to link to her pages here. I can't thank you enough for taking the time to join us in my home kitchen.
Thank you.
I'm going to take an inappropriately large bite. Let's do it. I'm just having a moment of gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.